Hey everyone! So for today's video I wanted to take a look at some of the Mission Giver missions in Star Citizen. These are some of the more in-depth missions that Star Citizen has to offer, and I haven't really tried all of them, so I've been trying to accept all of those appointment offers I get in the Mobiblast lately. Before we start though, I just want to remind all of you that I'm currently doing a giveaway for Star Wars Squadrons, so if you want a chance to win that, then please be sure to subscribe and comment down below. More information about that is in the description. So the mission I'm going to start off with here is available over at Lorville on Hurston, and you have to meet with Clovis Darneely over at Reclamation and Disposal.
Defacing public property is a crime.
Apologies. The air is especially dreadful today. There. Still alive, I think. Hello, welcome to Reclamation and Disposal. My name is Clovis Darneely. Wonderful to meet you. What can I do for you on this fine day? Let me think. Another soot-filled, chemical-stained sunrise brings another chance to avail ourselves of our current situation. I have a list of the pertinent details for you to peruse.
So he tells you about the mission, which is to go get a blade from a crashed server, and then you have to go drop it off somewhere. So I do like the immersion of talking to someone and going to a location to accept the contract, but it's just a shame that it takes so long to navigate around Lorville. I think a good compromise could be that after meeting with these mission givers the first time, you could call them on your Mobiblast to make it a little less annoying to do missions for them, because things like landing at Lorville and riding all the trains add so much more unnecessary time to doing these missions. Also, another thing that makes this mission take longer than I think it should is you only get a marker, not a quantum beacon, for the satellite's location, so it takes a long time to get there. So you can see I'm coming up on it now, and there's a big plume of smoke coming off of it, which I think is a pretty cool effect. Once I'm at the wreck, I just have to find and eject the server blade, and then I have to get it to a data center somewhere within a certain time or else it'll self-destruct apparently. This is the harder part of the mission. So you fly to one of the standard sort of bunker facilities which are around Hurston, and that's where I'm supposed to go and hook up this blade. If you're doing this though, be careful of the anti-air turrets. The Valkyrie is pretty durable, but in smaller ships the turrets can actually be pretty dangerous, and I'll actually demonstrate that in one of the other missions in this video. So after I got suited up for some FPS combat, I'm ready to go and get the blade connected. FPS combat against the AIs isn't too hard right now as long as you're careful. I highly recommend you keep both your medpen slots full in case you get some desync and get shot though. Also, be sure to make sure that the enemies are dead after you shoot them. Sometimes the desync makes it look like they die even when they don't. Also, one thing I like to do whenever I'm doing FPS combat missions is, since you lose the gun you're holding when you die, I like to keep one of my gun slots open and grab one of my enemy's guns after I take out one or two of them, just so I don't lose my own if I die later on. So I took out all of the enemies here without too many issues. And to finish the mission, all you have to do is hook up that server blade to this computer, and then protect it for a bit. I didn't see any reinforcements come in during this time, but I guess that countdown is just in case you ignored some of the enemies on the way in. So after all of that, you get 10,500 Alpha UEC. That's not terrible, but it is the worst of the 3 missions that I'm going to show you in this video. I did enjoy doing it though, so if you're around Hurston and you see this one pop up, maybe give it a try. Also, like with any FPS combat mission, you get the bonus of being able to pick up all the guns from the enemies you killed, which is a pretty high value if you need them. Remember, P4 ARs are like 4,000 credits each, so being able to grab like 7 of them after doing one of these missions is pretty nice. Just be patient with the loadout manager and check that you actually unequip your guns when you're going to pick up more of them by going to the third person camera. It takes a little while to actually store all of the guns in your inventory, but it's nice to not have to buy them, and after doing just a few of these missions you'll probably have enough for you and all of your friends. Okay, so the next mission I tried out is over in the ArcCorp area. The mission giver for this one is Ticia Pacheco, or however you say that, and I had a little trouble finding her because the waypoint for her was incorrect. So originally it was showing that she was in the middle of the big decorative floating ball in the plaza, but looking at the contract says to meet her in an alley, so I ended up finding her through one of those darker looking alleys. So the mission she has available is to go get some drugs from a stash house before someone's security goes in and destroys it. I was a bit worried I was going to get a crime stat for this one, but it must have been some other illegal organization's security that I was taking out since I didn't end up with one. I did have a few issues with this mission though. So I headed over to the bunker in my 600i and took out the turrets and the security there without any issue, and I just grabbed a random one of the mini packages that were spread around the bunker, and I thought I was good to go. However, even when I brought the goods back on board my ship, the mission didn't update with the drop-off location. At this point, I thought the issue was the fact that the 600i has a weird cargo grid, and I needed a ship with a more normal cargo grid. Also, as a side point, there are quite a few boxes of drugs in this warehouse, but unfortunately these are only worth around 100 credits each usually, since they're 1 SU each. I'm really looking forward to the day when we can go loot places like this or shipwrecks and have it be worth our time, but at this point it's really not. It would take forever to load up all of these boxes, especially with the long elevator ride in and out of the bunker. We really need something like a Grey Cat forklift. So back to the mission, I went and got a Cutlass to try with that since it has a pretty normal cargo grid. When I came back though, I found out that all the enemies respawn when you leave the area, including the anti-air turrets. They really messed me up here since I wasn't expecting them, and they left my ship in such a bad state that I had to park it without the landing gear down since the back ramp wouldn't open. So I went in and cleared out the enemies again, and tried to load up another package since I didn't know what the problem was at this point. When that didn't work, I looked at the mission information a bit more carefully, and I saw that I was looking for a package that specifically looked like it had tree bark in it. I don't even want to tell you guys how long this took me to find, but I think I knocked over every pile of stuff in that whole bunker. Anyway, this is what the package looks like, and I think only one of them spawns per mission, which makes it really hard to find, since as you can see there's a ton of stuff in this warehouse. But the mission updates when you pick it up, so you know when you have the right one if you're doing this yourself. So after all of that, to finish the mission all you have to do is go and drop it off on a rooftop on ArcCorp. This mission actually pays pretty well, giving you 20,000 credits plus all of those bonus weapons if you pick them up. And it would have taken about the same amount of time as the Server Blade mission if I had known what I was looking for in the first place. So I'd definitely recommend this one since it's pretty fun and pays quite well, and you don't even end up with a crime stat. So this last mission I have here isn't quite as special as the others. So this one is from Recco Battaglia, the mission giver over at Levski. So you go and talk to her over there in the main area at Levski, and she gives you a mission to go escort some miner.
Don't think I've seen your face around these parts before. We get our fair bit of traffic, but I make a point of knowing who's who. What brings you around? Ah, then you'll be wanting to see me. Name's Recco. I see to the boring fiddly bits for most of the miners work in the area. Dig site claims, equipment orders, or transfers and the like. For most jobs, the terminal will set you up. But if you're after something with a bit of air on it, best to talk to me direct. If you'd like, I can see to setting you up with something now. Nothing too big, but it'll let us see how we feel about working together. Sound alright to you? Great. I'll take a scan through now. This contract could be a good fit. Here are the details for you. Good. Keep your wits about you. You're here.
So this is basically one of those escort missions that used to be available around the Crusader area, but it just pays a bit more than those. This one was pretty straightforward, but there are a few things you'll want to do to make sure you don't run into any issues. First, I would not fly directly in front of or behind the prospector you're escorting, because you'll probably run into them because of desync. You do want to stay close though, because if you've ever done a claim jumper mission, you'll know how flimsy prospectors are. You don't want any of those enemies to get close, because there's a pretty good chance they'll be able to blow it up before you can deal with them. But like I said, this one is pretty simple and it actually pays pretty well. You get 13,000 credits if you do run into enemies from the mission's combat bonus, and if you have call to arms active, you get that bonus as well for any of the enemies you take out. So this one wasn't as exciting as the others, but it pays reasonably well. So overall, these mission giver missions are pretty fun, and are a good way to add variety to your Star Citizen gameplay. Like I said earlier though, I wish that you could just contact the mission givers on your mobiGlas instead of having to visit these people in person. The amount of time these missions take would be greatly reduced without that step, and then they would actually be worth doing, not just for their uniqueness. I really hope they do something like that, or bump the pay for these. Let me know what you guys think though. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.